This is the application walkthrough for the Cornell University MBA program. The 2-year MBA program, applicants have an option to submit the GMAT or GRE score report, or they can also choose. The school is test waiver optional, so it is an option for the applicants to choose whether they want to submit the GMAT or the GRE scores for the application process. We'll take up both the cases if you are submitting your GMAT or GRE scores and when you are not submitting your GMAT or GRE scores, and what are the main steps of the application form which you need to be aware of. Once you have filled in your personal information, you can go to the section which requires you to add about your current citizenship status. So for the international applicants, especially the Indian applicants, you need to select that you are a non-US citizen or a non-permanent citizen. Other options will open up for you, which where you will have to add your citizenship, country of birth, and the native language. So this is one section which is going to be important for the international applicants. Then add your address information and let's come to the background form. This page will require you to disclose whether you want to submit your GMAT or GRE score or do you want to be considered for the test waiver. So for the Cornell Johnson MBA application, if you want to apply for a GMAT or GRE test waiver, it has to be done from within this application form. There is no separate process to apply for it. So let's say I select that no, plan to submit a test score. Then in that case, the form remains in this manner. If I say that yes, I want to go ahead for the GMAT GRE test waiver and apply for that, then there is a mandatory short statement of 100 words where I need to fulfill the information about how I qualify academically for the MBA environment. So you need to add this in case you are applying for the GMAT or GRE test waiver. This is one part of the application form which is going to be more important for you. Then add about your parents and their employment status, and if anybody in your relatives has attended the Cornell University. So you can add that information over here. Next comes the work experience. So how many years of total work experience do you have? You can select that from this drop down list and whether you are affiliated with a family business. So if you're working with a family business, then you can add this information, select yes over here or go ahead with no, and then you need to add your resume. So upload the resume. Your resume for your MBA application is different from your resume which you submit for work or employment interviews. So when you are preparing your MBA resume, it talks about your leadership initiatives. It gives up your positions of responsibility, the volunteering activities you have been a part of, the other interests that you have excelled at. Make sure that that information is conveyed impactfully in your resume. So next comes the goals and interests. So in the goals and interests, you need to very clearly talk about your post MBA job role, the company that you want to target post MBA and the industry, and the long term role. So in 5 to 10 years, my aim is to work in an X role at a dash company in the dash industry. So add the role, company, and industry in this section. And then how has your experience prepared you or encouraged you to pursue these goals? So add a short statement over here. And then next section is that you need to add about the spring immersion learning program. So what additional learning programs will be more suitable to your career interest? So let's say it is management consulting. This is the section about goals and interests. Let's come to the employment history. So in employment history, you can select add new and don't provide more than 5 past employment. Start from the most recent one. Add your employer, the description of the organization, start date, end date, industry, job function, and give details of your responsibilities. There is a 3,000 word limit over here. You can add your roles and responsibilities here. How many hours per month and your starting and ending salary. In case there is another employment that you have joined post this, you need to give the reason of leaving this position. You can add up to 5 employments in this section. Next comes the education information. For the education information, you need your scanned copies and of the unofficial transcripts and the degrees. Very handy for this section. And don't provide more than 5 items over here. You need to add a new entry every time you want to add an institution or an education. Let's say you are adding your bachelor's degree, name of the institution, the school code, if it is a US institution, otherwise it might not be applicable to you. And Did you graduate? Have you graduated, or are you expected to graduate, or are you currently pursuing the program? These are the things that you can add over here. The grading scale. So for Indian applicants or international applicants, since there are chances that you might have a percentage system of grading, or there may be no CGPA available in case it is a certificate course. So let's say it is other. Then you need to describe the grading scale over here. So if it is a percentage, you can say that I scored a 79% and I was not given a CGPA. This is what you can define over here in this particular section, and finally upload your transcripts of your education. Next comes the test score. So if you are submitting a test score, then it can be anyone from the GMAT to GMAT Focus Edition or the GRE test scores. These scores are valid for 5 years. So you have to check the validity of your score expiration date very specifically when you are uploading any information in the MBA application. For the Cornell Johnson MBA application, you need to add your test score unless you are going test optional. So you can select the test score that you want to submit and then add the relevant details, whether it was in person or online, and what was the date and when you had taken the test. In case you are scheduled to take the test, that date also comes over here, and then add your score details in this section. Next comes the essays section. So the word limit for the essays for the Cornell Johnson MBA is 350 words at max. An impact essay and an optional essay. Any gaps that your career gap or an employment history, choice of recommender, or their low in undergrad education. So anything that will impact your application and needs explanation can come in this optional essay. Financial aid. A very important section for international applicants in case you are applying for any of the merit-based scholarships. Pay attention to this section and select whether you want to be considered for a scholarship funding. If yes, details of financial planning for your MBA study, information about whether your company is sponsoring you or whether you have a prior loan or not. This information is also required in the financial aid section. So once you have submitted this information, you will automatically be considered for the merit-based scholarship. One recommendation letter is mandatory for the Cornell Johnson MBA application, and you can submit. Add the details of your recommender. Once you have added that information, the email will automatically be triggered to your recommender, and they will receive the recommendation form from the school. If you have any questions or you need any assistance with the application process, add your questions in the comment. We will be happy to address them for you, or you can get in touch with us. All the best.